It doesn't. Okay, you get divorced and then what?
A friend of mine was hit starved to death just because of beans. That the beans was not soft enough for a man to eat.
Whoa.
The argument started. Okay, let me go and cook it more. He said, why is it taking so long? Just for the woman to say, it's beans. You allow it to solve, and he said it's too strong. Wow.
Yo.
Started punching the woman. She retaliated to save her life. The next thing the man did, he picked a bottle beside him. A pregnant woman with 3 months child in her womb.
God. What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchet REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell,
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
Get that fast.
Oh, loud it up, loud it up. Right.
Please signify if you agree with the prompt. Divorce is the only way out of an abusive marriage.
The only way out of an abusive marriage.
I can't stand abusive marriage anymore. I've experienced coma, go 3 times. I will advise separate, say like 2, 3 years, 4 years, and see the both partner will adjust. If it does not work, go for divorce.
Never know.
Let everybody said calm down. Then let's see who is the devil and who was the angel.
I don't believe that divorce is the only way to save a marriage personally, but if someone can abuse you in a relationship, someone can lift their hand up to hit you, why are you married to that person? What are you doing there?
Can the disagreeers now speak?
Okay, divorce is not the only way out. Think back. It has not always been beating now. There were real good times. Think back about that good times. Think back on how you started. You would definitely find a loophole somewhere. I hate beating, but no one is a saint. You will not die inside that marriage. Amen. Go away. Stay separate.
The only reason I'm on this side is because of the word only. Divorce is not the only way, actually. Even legally, there's something called judicial separation, which means that you are legally allowed to stop cohabiting with this person for the reasons that you would ordinarily divorce that person. Because even when you go to courts, the first thing they ask you as a legal practitioner is, have you advised the client on reconciliation? If there is any chance that the parties will reconcile, the court would stop that proceeding to tell you, go and reconcile. So divorce is not aimed at actually separating people. The whole concept of divorce happens when the marriage has broken down irretrievably. Simple. At the same time, there should also be attempts to protect the party being abused. There are laws that protect people. The Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. Lagos State has adopted the domestic violence law as well that can give you protective orders while you're separate from this person. And in this moment, it is left for that person to now prove that he is no longer a threat. Also, there's been so much focus on physical abuse. Abuse can be psychological, it can be sexual, it can be financial. It's not just the physical abuse. The courts in one of the cases said a dropping water melts away the stone. It might be minor acts, which in themselves, they do not amount to reasons to divorce, but when you accumulate them, it amounts to reasons to divorce. Even the courts recognize that.
All right. Very nice, interesting points. Divorce is the only way to get out of an abusive relationship. So as this conversation was going on, I'm thinking about it. The second lady, not the one in the green, the second lady said that you got to think about the good times, because it's like, who would want to sit there, get beat, and think about the good times in the process.
Right.
That's like some kids jumping you, but you know you're there for education. And it's like, I got to come back to school the next day. I got to come back to school next. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it just don't sit right with that mental state. Like, psychologically, you're damaging yourself for the long term.
I value marriages, but I've been around so many different types of marriages. And just growing up, I always knew what type of marriage I wanted.
Heard
and
that.
I always say, abuse, baby, I'm going to the judge myself. Okay? I'm a person who value marriage. But abusive marriage, financially, sexually, abuse, any type of abuse, psychological, physical, nah, no.
Because at that point, it's like, what is love in that relationship?
Exactly.
Because love is not to be, you know, in any form, shape, or fashion, a damaging experience.
Right,
you know?
Exactly. And I feel like if you got to be the person who's looking for the loophole and that other person who's supposed to love you is abusing you in any type of way, why I got to do it?
Right.
Nah.
Before we get back into it, I watch Lifetime a lot, you know. I was young, around my mom's, around my grandmother and stuff like that. Love Lifetime movies. And I've seen plenty of episodes where people would try to get out of a damaged relationship.
Yeah.
And then the person with restraining orders, that didn't stop nothing. Moving to another country, this person would stalk them. You know what I'm saying? Or state. You know, it's like when that person loves you, but the attachment is also in a painful, attached type of way. They're going to do whatever it is to stay around you.
Exactly.
And 9 times out of 10, you're still going to have to go through those type of symptoms that was required while you was married to that person, even if you're not.
Right. And even, let's say if a person got separated, right?
Let's say they did. Okay.
Never intended on getting back in a home with their spouse, but they just want to be separated. They don't want to go to the court because they feel that it's going to take long, whatever the reason is, right?
Right.
That won't stop the person from continuing the abuse.
Nah.
No matter how independent you become. I've seen instances like that working in law. I've seen instances like that where the person who's doing the abuse, right, would manipulate situations, and their crutch would be to law enforcement would be, well, this is my wife, this is my husband, I can do this, and they never went to the courts to get any separation papers and none of that. So
What about the phone calls?
Exactly.
Late nights, like
exactly.
You ain't getting no rest.
Exactly. I say separate. And try to, mend after a couple years or whatever, a couple months, however long the separation is. But if you still see that pattern, divorce.
Yeah, and I say fight. You know what I'm saying? Fight for your love, fight for your relationship. There's always
both parties.
Yeah, it has to be both parties, but especially the abuser. And it has to be a time where this person truly shows that I am a changed individual, that I am no longer going to act or do these things. And plus, whoever is being abused have to put up some level of boundaries to show that this person can't cross these lines no more. You know what I'm saying? And then when things hit the table and everything turning, y'all good to go, then congratulations, y'all made it through a storm.
All right. It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
My name is Fisayo. I'm 28. I'm a legal practitioner. I'm married and a year and 3 months now. I'm pro-divorce because I don't think divorce is a problem. I think divorce is rather a solution to a problem.
I'm just going to start with this. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist, but I can't prefer a solution as to what anyone should do. I'm still quite young. But I'm going to say that at the end of the day, we've convinced ourselves that divorce is the cure-all answer to it. And it's really wild because based on the data, the people who have divorced, right, and gone into second and third marriages have way less chances of it succeeding. It's 67 for second marriages and 73 for third marriages. Even when we're not talking about abuse, people just think it's normal. People just think, it's degeneracy to society. The analogy I love to use is, imagine society like a body, like a human body, right? And the family is the cells of that society. Okay. When you begin to break it off, one by one, it causes, you don't know the effects. So saying divorce is just a cure-all excuse and normalizing it is like saying we shouldn't drink liquid because we have the chance of choking. It does.
I'm sorry. I got to make a comment because he talked about the human body, and I loved, analogies like that. But if you have something like a damaging limb on your body, you know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, people get it amputated.
And get a prosthetic.
Sometimes it just gotta go.
Just put a new one right back.
Yeah, the cells are still doing its job on other parts,
Exactly.
but that part of the body just no longer has no function. It's just not gonna work.
Right.
I just want to put that out, you know.
Because if you keep the part on the body that's causing damage,
that is
it's going to spread it.
Ooh.
It's going to spread to the children.
Ooh.
The children going to think that abuse is okay.
The cells can no longer function because they're dying trying to live in an environment that is toxic.
Right. Your future children going to pass on that trauma to others.
Oh, it's in the blood.
Oh,
No.
it's in the blood.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
What happened to dialogues? What happened
cool
to
cat.
having a conversation?
Chill.
Because before the two of you got married, you courted, you saw those signs. What happened?
all
You were
the
in
time.
love. You just ignored the signs. Continue ignoring the signs now. Why did you have to? No, that is.
Sorry.
Hold on. Except you didn't see the sign, and nobody can say they did not see even the slightest bit of signs that this
I
person
agree
could be abusive. I have been there. I have been abused.
Ooh.
What did I do? I called my partner. What's going on? What's happening? Why is this thing happening? We had the conversation. You can't just say, oh, divorce is going to solve the issue just like that. It doesn't. Okay, you get divorced and then what?
A friend of mine was hit starved to death just because of beans. That the beans was not soft enough for a man to eat.
Whoa.
The argument started. Okay, let me go and cook it more. He said, why is it taking so long? Just for the woman to say, it's beans. You allow it to solve, and he said it's too strong. Wow.
Yo.
Started punching the woman. She
cried,
retaliated to save her life. The next thing the man did, he picked a bottle beside him. A pregnant woman with 3 months child in her womb.
God.
Before she rushed to the hospital, she passed away. And my name is Alice Bedudo. I'm 54 years old. I'm a divorcee of 11 years now. Hitting every time. Little thing a man will provoke, little time, little thing I will provoke. People say marriage is adorable. It's not enduring. As long as there is no hitting, no abuse, both from the husband or from the wife.
I feel like the topic they've been using is too subtle for you guys too. You have it, child. Male
Yes,
or
I
female?
do. Male.
You have children, sorry. Male or female?
Male, female.
Ah, beautiful. Okay, so like, we've been talking about physical abuse since, let's say for instance now, your husband sexually abused your daughter. Are you going to
God
stay with him?
forbid.
God forbid. Yeah. But it happens. These are things that happen. Will you stay with him after?
First and foremost, let me tell you the truth. I will definitely want to find out that thing.
No, fuck
True or
if your
not,
daughter come and meet you, start
telling
asking her,
you.
is it true or not? If your husband sexually abused your child or your wife sexually abused your child, and you find out it's true, what are you going to do?
You know the beautiful thing about that question? I'm going to consider priorities. If I let my spouse, right, what consequence do you think will be greater? Leaving that marriage is not going to reverse the emotional trauma.
Emotional?
And I didn't have any education whatsoever. I don't have a 9-to-5 job. I don't make any form of money at all. And I know I need that for financial assistance. I'm going to say, look, I'm prioritizing my daughter's or my son's future ahead of this abuse. This abuse, it already happened. It's a bad thing, right?
But I mean,
it already
if
happened.
you
But I'm
divorce, like, it's still,
prioritizing that future.
there are countries that if you
Let me
divorce,
help.
there will be financial compensation.
Let
So
me
if you know
help.
you're going to get
But it's
financial
not always sure.
if you know you're
It's not
going
always sure.
if you know you are going to get financial compensation from divorce,
The
are you going to do it?
You never know.
you shouldn't
If you
get
know.
divorced
No,
in
you only
situation.
know-
I gotta stop it. Hold up, wait a minute. He's young.
Yeah, he said he don't know, but this
He's
is
young.
this is a crazy way to say I can answer this type of question. Okay.
He's young.
What you got, see?
He never been married before.
Never been married, right?
Don't have children, I'm gonna assume. Consider priorities. My priorities is that child.
Yeah.
It's not gonna reverse emotional trauma. Baby, it's more than emotional trauma. Once that happens, that stay with a person for the rest of their life. And the decision that mother or father, because sometimes it's the other way around. The decision that parent make is gonna forever impact that child. Forever.
Yeah, that is facts.
I don't care if the woman, and listen, I'm about to be real with y'all. I'm always real. I'm about to be real with y'all.
The two reels coming in.
I don't care if it's a stay-at-home mom who depends, I gotta say male too, stay-at-home parent who depends on the other spouse for money.
Oh, the money maker.
Baby, there's shelters, there's whatever out there. You can always rebuild your life.
Yeah, that's
But
the plan.
your child, your relationship with your child that you birthed, that you cared for, that you take care of, depends on the decision that you're going to make.
So for them to want to remain in a relationship after knowing the facts of that type of incident, my man J. Cole said, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me 2 times, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, the peace sign, you know what I'm saying, let it rain on you. But you got to understand, bro, this is a principle type of way that you need to look at the situation. If your child walked in the bathroom and a stranger did it to your child, you're gracing them to do it again if they meet your child again in any other restroom because you felt the need to say, I'm going to let it slide. Most times, anybody, for what I understand, is not going to let that happen to their child in the restroom. So for it to happen inside the home, it's like you just take principle and law and all that stuff out of your essence and who you are to let it exist and grow and continue. So I don't understand that.
And why the decision on the priorities and all that gotta fall on the other spouse when the spouse who did the act is the one who did it? Were they thinking about the vows then? Were they thinking about you then?
Yeah, I don't think that's enough money in the world for me to have to second guess nature on top of my actions on something that I just don't agree with.
Ooh,
not enough.
Look, this got a little real. Jubilee don't be asking questions like this.
Jubilee, what we doing today, bro? You got a group up here.
Like this. That's not Jubilee. This is
who?
Screws, and their accent sounds like they're in Nigeria.
Okay. Oh, all right. Here we go.
Like
We're in the divorce court.
who is going to help the man? Like the man needs help. Obviously, you
the help that he needs.
What do you mean? That's your husband.
I'm sorry,
That's
you're
your-
sexually
that's your
assaulting my
responsibility.
child and
Yes,
telling me I should be
that
responsible
is your-
for him.
Yes, you.
Bro, what? The man should be in jail.
In jail.
Under the jail.
Did you? Has it been like that? Did you know that he has
After he
been like
assaults
that?
my daughter, after
Something is
interrogating him,
wrong.
have you been like this? Is this your first time?
So
Seriously.
putting him in jail, how does that?
I'll be at peace knowing that whoever assaulted my daughter.
Are you sure you'll be at peace, or you're just imagining that?
Let me address a lot of issues that have actually been raised here, most of which border on criminal allegations. If a man rapes a minor, that's a very grievous crime, regardless of whether he's the father or not.
Right.
And the right steps that should be taken, because you're saying the emotional abuse has happened. You're right.
That's not
But
just
that daughter will
emotional.
grow up knowing that the mother condoned it. That's a greater emotional abuse. So the best thing the mother can do at that point is to do everything to protect the child, which includes making sure that the father, if you're not going to at least report the father, you take the child away from that environment. But you can also, like I said, if you divorce this man, you have a legal claim to financial support that it would be binding on him. So you're saying if you leave, it would, no, that doesn't
it's
happen.
not always like that.
It is
It's not always like
it
that.
depends. And like I said, once you're able to prove certain things in courts, and when you're talking about if the man
talk
is
about-
not
we talk a lot about corruption.
Hold on.
Let him
If
cook.
the man is not even for some reason convicted of that crime, because obviously the burden of proof is really high in cases like that. You have recourse to so many, like I said, the law is there to protect. A lot of times we just don't test the law in the courts simply because we have this ideology that, it doesn't work. It works, it just takes time.
But
Honestly.
that does not mean that they are divorced.
Yeah.
Why would
Yes,
you
he
want to
asked me
stay?
that question, and it shocked me. I want to be sincere. He has answered. He has said exactly what I wanted to say. Separating that child from the father is the most important thing at that moment. So, but that does not mean that you are divorcing your husband. If this type of incident really happen, and you find out it is true, would you still marry that man? I will still be with my husband, but I forbid. Listen, I will still be with my husband. I will sleep with me and sleep with my daughter.
If I am the child, I'll arrest you and my father.
A man that I got wedded to. If I'm a lawyer, I would sentence him to death. What were you even thinking of? Oh God. Yes.
All right, so let's look at it like this, and we're gonna get right back into it. I don't know if you got anything else you want to add to this, because
What more do I need him for?
So check this out. I feel that in all essence, like the truth of the truth is that a father is always going to be the young lady first love psychologically, because how he treats her is how she's going to go into the world expecting men to treat her. So if it's allowed in a house, that damage, that trauma, and that secrecy, she's going to be a closed book that's going to be hard as heck to open, to heal, to like everything that's possible needed for a woman to thrive. It's all going to be sheltered out.
Regardless if that's his biological child.
Yeah, regardless. Like, I'm just saying, like, but and as well for the mother, that bridge is going to burn.
Oh.
That loyalty that the mother had to that child is going to be no longer there because she allowed it. She never was there for her rescue, and yeah, that child's going to always remember that. That's a memory that's going to stain her whenever she get anywhere near close to re-experiencing that again.
That's not emotional abuse.
It's long term.
Maybe for the spouses, but I'm not even thinking about the spouse. I'm thinking about the child. I'm thinking about the child as if, Lord, I ain't even gonna put that out in the atmosphere. Yeah, no. What he there for? He needs to be divorced the last day.
Yeah, and it's about divorce, but you know what I'm saying.
Why are we still attached? We don't even need to see each other no more.
Like by the time the girl grows up to become a woman and she finally decides to marry, that is still going to live in her brain.
Always.
If anything, a woman got a memory like an elephant.
Oh, always.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just
and sometimes that messes with them mentally. Mentally. Ooh. Continue, cause Lord,
She's my husband.
Did she hop up?
Very well at all.
Oh.
See, do you know that time the man is already separated from me? That does not mean I'm divorced from my husband. But that time, my own mind too is not even at peace with him, because that is a devilish act. Law and try to take me to jail or whatever,
That's if you report him.
Yeah, that's if there's a report made.
Yes. No, there will definitely be a report.
Oh, that is going to
No.
Yeah, there should.
The man will definitely be reported.
Okay.
But that does not mean that I will divorce my husband. I want you to get that fact. I will definitely stay away from him for the period where he's going to receive his punishment.
If you actually are okay with that person doing that thing and you still want to be with that person, the law doesn't have an issue with that. What I appreciate that she said was that she would take steps to ensure that the man is brought to book for whatever crime he has committed and the child is protected. Under, I think it's section 15(2)(c)
He got
of
receipts.
the matrimonial clauses, or 2B, it talks about adultery. And it says where the respondent has persistently and willfully committed adultery and the petitioner finds it intolerable to live with that person. If you've condoned an act and the man doesn't do it again, you cannot divorce on that once it is proven that you condoned it.
If Christ died for me and claimed all my sins, I have been taught that forgiveness should be the key in everything. Assuming such a thing happens to me, I will go gaga. I will feel like tearing him out of my face. I am not going to divorce my husband. I will watch and see that he suffers very well. And get to realize evil he has done. And my parents taught me that divorce is not an option in marriage. For better, we die here.
We would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 50,000 subscribers in the first quarter of this year. Divorce should be normalized.
Divorce is not the problem. You have to come and prove to the court that these things happen before the court grants you a divorce. So if someone has gone through these circumstances in life and has decided they are no longer willing to go through those circumstances, why should the society force or stigmatize them for making that choice? I feel that is hypocritical because there's something they say, it's the person that wears the shoe that knows where it is.
Yes.
I don't think the society should stigmatize people who are divorced.
Because they have not been in that shoe that you are. When I first separated from my husband, we started with separation. We separated for about seven times before I found out that if K is not taken, one person head will enter 6 feet.
That's a
So
bar.
it is better for us to stay alive, to wash our children group, train our children, nurture them in the will of the Lord. So many people said a lot of things. Church came in, villagers came in, family came in. You can imagine the trauma.
Something that I find really unfortunate is that the stigma doesn't even stay with the man, it's the woman. The man is most likely free to just continue his life like it never happened. It's the woman, and I understand because obviously she has children and those children are attached to her. But at the same time, I think the society should be able to see through what that woman has gone through, and rather than stigmatize her for her decision, have empathy for the situation she has found herself in. Generally, marriage is a contract. At least under the law, it's a contract. Under religion, it's an oath or a vow. Like every other contract, you can decide to pull out. Then you should be allowed to. I don't see how that is a problem to any other person.
I believe that if a couple goes into marriage knowing that like divorce is an option, nobody would want to spoil the marriage knowing that divorce can happen. That's basically it for me.
It's not a big deal. If you try to make it work, it does not work. Oh girl or boy, put the paper down, sign and rest your head. Marriage is not by force.
Can the disagreeers now speak?
Before the disagreeers start cooking.
Yeah, okay, because we know.
Got on
It's getting
sick.
heated. I absolutely love this discussion.
Yeah.
They're not holding nothing back. I love it.
Facts.
What I would say as a person who values marriage, I absolutely love marriage. Divorce is not an option in my marriage. But what I have come to understand about African cultures is that it's like a community effort.
Yeah, we seen.
The village is very involved.
Yeah.
And that is what I appreciate about African culture. But just coming back to the personal experience, when it came to our marriage has been so intact for almost a decade because we didn't allow outside forces in. Right. So that as I'm listening, I'm trying to be mindful of the culture difference there.
Got to. It's important. Totally different actually. But from our experience, how things operate out here, normalizing marriage. I just got to say that I'm a total believer.
Divorce.
Oh, normalizing divorce. You said the same thing earlier too.
did.
Well, let me just say, I'm a firm believer that when you decide to drop that knee to a woman, you're expecting that lifetime relationship to be there in the picture. Divorce can be normalized to an extent of being pushed totally off the edge. Before you before you go off the edge totally to the edge, because like she mentioned, it can become a real life and death situation. You have to live with that, and most times your consequences is behind bars. So you just got to understand what it is that you're getting out of whenever you say I want to normalize divorce, because most times you can fight other situations. Finances, y'all can talk that out. Lack of communication, that can be handled. Verbal abuse, therapy. Like there's some things that you can go through. Yeah, verbal. Physical is like, bro, it's like at what extent do you stop wearing them shades? But at normalizing it, I feel like to a certain extent you can definitely say I'm tired of this level of this type of relationship, and most people don't even know what they get into when they get into the long haul of a relationship.
Exactly. That's why I say in our marriage, divorce is not an option. But when you're dealing with other things that's unbearable, child,
like how that creep in here?
You better go sign them. Who that artist that sings sign them papers? Them papers.
Oh snap! That's an oldie. That's an oldie.
Jaheim.
Before the Confessions,
Tank?
huh? Was it Usher? I'm ready to sign them papers.
Yeah.
Ooh, you heard that note?
Listen. Ooh, I heard it.
Hey, I gotta go make sure that's Usher though. I think that's Usher.
I don't remember.
Where did we get lost in society to think it should be normalized?
You're not married.
Made vows.
You're not married, bro.
On that wedding day. You made vows. Now, if anybody can divorce willy-nilly, what is the point? Children are the beginning of it. You made vows. On that wedding day, you made vows. Now, if anybody can divorce willy-nilly, what is the point? Children are
Didn't catch it.
the beginning of empires. Now, if you're going to be shaping them and giving them the example that vows are just protocol, till death do us part is just protocol, I wonder what kind of parent you are. Okay, let me ask you a question. If you got cheated on, right, and your wife divorces you, right, are you going to be comfortable with the fact that she just did it because she knows she can divorce you anytime?
Why did I cheat in the first place?
She cheated on you. Yes. Are you going to be comfortable with the fact that she just did it because she knew that she could divorce you
She
anytime?
can't do that.
Are you gonna really have
She
that?
can't do that actually. Yeah, legally, you can't cheat and then bring a case to court to say I want to divorce because I cheated.
Can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
You got married to a woman that is stronger than you.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
No, go ahead.
Every little thing, she threatens you that she's going to bully you. She's going to bully. Every time she bully you, your father comes in, the church comes in, the uncles come in. She still remains. You still go ahead to marry that woman.
There's something in dating, right, and age that relates to each other. When you're dating at the right age, you build emotional intelligence. So when you know that a case is going to come like that, when you know there's a probability of that, right, you create contingency plans, right? Now that contingency plans might not be divorcing, but there are other methods.
It shouldn't be a normal thing. It's even on the end. It shouldn't be a normal thing.
Take a look at our society currently, for example, how people are just diving into divorce with any little discomfort. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. People no longer want to manage, not even manage, like build. Now that people are saying we should not stigmatize, they should stigmatize them, because if you don't stigmatize them, that is why they will feel very free.
Exactly.
Your husband just raised his voice at you a little bit, or the wife did not cook soup for you the way you like it, you just get a divorce. They should stigmatize them. People will say, oh, it's only the women who get stigmatized. No, people no longer want to go into relationships with single fathers anymore. They are being stigmatized, so it is good. They should continue stigmatizing them. Maybe that one will help them to think, okay, at least if I cannot fight for my marriage, what about the people that will be insulting me that I couldn't stay in marriage, or the people that will be saying, oh, I carry children for her, they know if he dates me.
You believe people are like just jumping into divorce, right?
They are. Look at the society.
Do you also believe that people are also just jumping into marriages? Those people married are married. Yeah, so those people that are married, should they be allowed to divorce or not?
This is the reason why some churches will make you go through series of what they call
Counseling.
counseling.
We are talking about like the whole world. You can't just talk about like just churches.
No, I'm telling you that if all churches, or if they can say, if you want to get married, go through the process of counseling, they can normalize that. Since you want to say they should throw marriage away.
Okay, see,
instead of throwing marriage away,
that actually makes more sense, because like if you want to divorce, you need to go to.
but we are not talking about that right now. We are talking
It's
about
still
divorce.
the same thing.
We're not talking about that right now.
Divorce
We're
have like
talking
you have like a long list of things you need to go through before you can divorce. When you have been
let me just
or you falling out of love.
Some people just divorce because of
for the slightest
That's not
reason,
true.
especially
The divorce.
your soul be hammering on divorce with so much pleasure. I don't know. Maybe it's coming from a divorced home. Maybe he has lived those who are from a divorced home, and they have seen one-hand experience of what it is them. All this gaga, beating and all that stuff.
I'm from a very stable family, and I've not really seen or experienced divorce firsthand. But I've seen people that should have gotten divorced, so that is one of the main reasons why I'm here. I believe divorce should be normalized. Not sometimes that people have to go through lots of process just to get to.
You people think you can just walk into court and
Exactly what I'm saying. You can't just divorce like that.
That is not. You cannot even divorce within 2 years without the leave of court. And what that means is that you have to first ask the court, can I divorce? And there are grounds: rape, bestiality. Sometimes if you marry within bloodlines, or if you marry within relatives, let's say you marry someone that was insane, someone that was not capable, there's very strict requirements.
But this is
within 2 years.
they are venturing divorce because they feel it's normal, because it's normalized. It's easy for them to bring.
That's what I'm saying. Now it's easy for them to bring it, but they still have to prove.
You can't just wake up and look at your wife, look at your husband that you love so much. We went to the altar and went a ring, dance, do this. said, you know, they do again. That
Yo.
there is something that will make you to do that thing. I would say it's not normal to divorce, and it's not also good to stay in abusive marriage. Before a man or a woman would do that, they are scotching to this place. I will not say divorce is good and it's sweet. It's not sweet too. It's very bitter. Oh, I don't know how to put it. Look at it back and front before you do it, because it's not rice and beans.
If you believe in love and the two of you actually really love each other, there is nothing you cannot work out.
It is not only abusing marriage that can make somebody divorce.
Yes.
Not even on the top 3 or 5.
You don't need to reach that
It's
far
not
to
even
make
there. It's not even up there. 8th of January 2024. I think that's when it was released. It was a Forbes list. Domestic violence is there, but there are things way above. I'm not saying it's to discredit domestic violence. We have lack of commitment there, lack of education when your spouse is illiterate. We have substance abuse, so many other things, right? Domestic abuse was either 7th or 9th. So I was just thinking we could treat the other things instead of focusing on violence and all.
There are so many things. So many.
Myrie.
Communication, lack of communication. It can cause divorce. Make a marriage stop.
That one is worse.
See, what I just have to say
It is so simple. It only has to do with that. If you are saying it, but pass through it, maybe you don't pass through the one that passed.
that's like drugs.
No, but I just want to tell you this.
She said she doesn't know
Yeah, I'm like, didn't she say
Marriage is still death.
Alright,
Okay.
we're gonna stop right there, y'all. We're gonna have to cut this into a 2-part. So, but before we close it out, is there anything else you want to add to this conversation?
I feel like, I don't know, the guy, like, he's real adamant on no divorce. You can never, like, say things unless you've really gone through things, and we have been through some heavy things in our marriage that other people would have divorced for. But because we together say that divorce is not an option for us. And I remember when we started discussing getting married, and we got married at a very young age, we was like, this is the type of marriages we have seen throughout our life. This is what we don't want. This is what we're going to do in our marriage to make our marriage work. And divorce is not an option for us. But for other people, there are some things that people may not be able to get through. Alcoholism, drugs, outside babies they didn't know about. There's so much that people mentally cannot get over. And if the marriage, if the love is no longer there, don't just waste somebody's time, waste somebody's life. Because their next marriage could be the one that just, you know, they're happy for the rest of their life. Don't hold people back.
Yeah, and you can't tell people how to handle those type of, all you just mentioned, you can't tell people how to handle those first-hand experiences, because that is very difficult when you're in a life-term relationship with somebody. This is the most I ever heard the word divorce since I've been married. Oh, that's crazy word. And for the gentleman, bro, it's like he hasn't even experienced, unless he's talking based off of life experiences. I mean, he hasn't been married. So it's a little more difficult to try to, I mean, I hear what he's saying. He has points there, passionate. You know what I'm saying? Very passionate. But at the same time, it's like, what do you know when it comes to life lessons? Life lessons is going to make you second guess a lot of stuff that you thought you knew about, because you can't come into anything thinking you know it all.
No, not
That's
at
the
all.
wrong way to answer a question when you just think you know everything. Like, that's basically guessing.
And marriage is not two people. It's two people becoming one.
Oh, I gotta say that too.
Every single thing that both of them people go through, it's both of them going through it. So you can't like really say what a person should accept, what a person should go through, have a lifelong commitment to. You can't do that.
But a cool way to resolve a lot of situations that a couple may be barking back and forth about is to stop barking back and forth at each other and realize this is a partnership. We're going to attack the problem together. If we continue to just one side this thing, we're going to always fall. It's a seesaw. And when my seesaw hit the ground, I'm like, man, I got slapped. Like, that hurt. Then she hit the ground, she got her lick, and we're just going back and forth with it. But it can be so much balance when partnership and attacking a problem together is in the plans, you know?
Yeah, but I do feel that divorce should be normal. It should, because could cost somebody their life.
I got another one.
If the community or family, okay, hold on, wait. Community or family is like, no, it's to death do y'all part.
Right.
I agree with that. It is to death do you part with people who respect the vows that was made.
These relationships are broken. They're damaged, and they need mad healing. And I think healing does a lot better when a person is focused on themselves first.
Right. And I had to say what I said when it came to the what was the situation they brought up about the sexual abuse. I had to say that because there's some people that need to be freed from that level of thinking. Forget that marriage. He wasn't worried about it, or she wasn't worried about it when she did that, and looked at your child in a certain way. Forget that marriage.
Now that child banking on suicide. That's how it be.
All right, y'all. We hope
Yes,
you guys
sir.
enjoyed this video with us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.